Well, according to U.S. media reports, Donald Trump has swept the opening contest for the Republican presidential nomination with a second straight statewide win in the New Hampshire primary after the Iowa caucus.
Well, I want to thank everybody. This is a fantastic state. This is a great, great state. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three. We win it every time. We win the primary, we win the generals, we've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very...
Trends from the past 50 years reveal that whoever has won both Iowa and New Hampshire has eventually become the Republican presidential candidate. But Nikki Haley says that the fight is far from over. She is still the last woman standing against a Trump versus Biden face-off that now seems almost inevitable. Assuming she remains in the race, the South Carolina primary due next month will be a must-win stop for Haley. After her defeat, she has continued with her argument about her chances in her home state. She says she has won tough races in her state before and knows it better than the political class and the media. Haley says voters in South Carolina don't want a coronation, they want an election. She added that voters are aversive to a Biden-Trump rematch, saying that the first party to retire its 80-year-old candidate is going to win this election. But Trump appears to be looking forward to that showdown as well.
We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden. Almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night.
Now, what's significant here is that Trump's win in New Hampshire was bolstered by his strength across nearly every demographic group. According to exit polls, he won in every age group, he won among both men and women, and he won among white and non-white voters. With this sweeping victory, the path for a Trump versus Biden face-off almost seems clearer than ever. Now, in the Democrats' camp, of course, on the other side, the incumbent president has close to an 80% majority as a write-in candidate. And the Biden campaign has reaffirmed that with this win, Trump has all but locked up the Republican nomination. But even though Haley's chances of winning this race are growing dimmer by the day, she might want to stick in the race just in case Trump's ongoing legal troubles bring in an unexpected twist. Now, some of his multiple indictments could carry a serious sentence and be Haley's trump card. In fact, Donald Trump's sexual assault defamation trial in New York is set to resume soon enough on Thursday. All right, we are now being joined by our Voice of America correspondent, Chris Casqueo, live from New Hampshire. Chris, we need to understand what's next for Haley from here as she goes into her home constituency, South Carolina, next, and she's not withdrawing.
Even though South Carolina is Nikki Haley's home state, the outlook is not good for her as she's polling behind Trump by anywhere from 20 to 30 points. That's because South Carolina has a much more conservative electorate on the Republican side than here in New Hampshire, which was seen as Haley's best hope because it is a much more moderate state. And she really made that the hallmark of her campaign here in New Hampshire, reaching out to those moderates, those people that were anti-Trump and that really wanted to move on. But Trump ended up winning here in New Hampshire.
Chris, also tell us, what's the reason for Haley's continuation? Or she had vowed to continue regardless of the New Hampshire result.
So far, Nikki Haley has not announced any plans to drop out of the race, which would mean it would be a two-person race between her and former President Donald Trump. And that's because she sees that she has finished in a close second if the margin holds within less than 10% here in New Hampshire. That way she can continue to tell her backers that she offers the best alternative to Donald Trump, and she was really pushing herself as the less chaotic candidate and the candidate who could appeal to moderates, and actually the candidate who could beat Joe Biden, as many polls showed her with a wider lead over Joe Biden than former President Donald Trump.
And what about Biden's write-in in the primary? How did that pan out? Talk to us about that.
This all happened because the Democratic Party decided to start its primary season in South Carolina because they felt that on the Democratic side, the electorate was much more racially diverse than it is here in New Hampshire, which is primarily white. There were 22 delegates here at stake, and they will not be awarded to Joe Biden, even though he's expected to win handily as a result of a very active write-in campaign.